Hi guys, I'm Amanda and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm in my kitchen and I have decided to do an update for you and show you what I have left from the produce that I harvested in my garden. I had a massive carrot harvest, onion, beetroot, and also cabbage, and I also harvested small amounts or small batches of produce here and there. So today I just wanted to take you through what is left and also to show you how long you can store your fresh produce after you have harvested it. I'm just going to give you a realistic view or update of how things are looking at the moment. I hope you will enjoy this video and find it helpful for you. So this is what I have left from the produce that I harvested in the garden. Onion was the first one that I harvested and I cured it. I think I harvested it late November or early December. If you scroll through my videos, you will see that video where I harvested the onions. And this is what we have left from the onions as of March. This is the 10th of March today. This is what we have left of the onion. And here is my carrots. I harvested this carrot in December and I didn't do anything to it. I didn't wash it. That's why you see the dirt on it. I didn't wash it. I only just put it in plastic bags and then I tied them up and put them in the fridge. This is how the carrot is looking at the moment. You can see that the greens are sprouting and these ones are starting to sort of like spoil, but the carrot itself is still very fresh. The carrots are still very fresh, as you can see. They are still very fresh. Now that I have taken them out of the freezer, I will process most of these, blanch them and then freeze them for longer term storage, and the others I will leave fresh. I decided not to wash them when I stored them. That's how I just chose to store them. You can also see that some of them, they've got these roots growing around. You can easily remove these, peel your carrot, wash your carrots, and then use them for whatever you want to use them. But they are still very fresh, as you can see, and they are still very tasty. This is 2 months now since I've had these carrots in my fridge. And coming to the cabbages, I had a massive cabbage harvest, and some of these cabbages were harvested on that day. I also think it was early Jan or late December, I'm not sure, but it's going for almost 2 months. And when you look at this particular cabbage, I want to show you this particular cabbage. You can see that it is starting to, the leaves are starting to dry and become wet a little because it's been almost 2 months with this cabbage in the fridge. What I decided to do was just to wrap them around in cling wrap, and they are still very fresh. They are still very fresh. They are still very fresh. I use the red ones mostly for salad and for also making my sauerkraut. I love the red sauerkraut. I also make sauerkraut with the white ones. I gave most of the white ones away because I had a lot of them, and I also kept some for myself. I cook them, I make salads, and I also make sauerkraut with them. And this is my celery. It's still very fresh. I think I harvested it about 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Still very fresh and green, although we have some that are starting to turn yellow, the leaves, but the stalks are still very fresh and crunchy. How I store these, I just wrap them tight with a tea towel, and then put them in a plastic bag and refrigerate them. Also, I recently harvested some leeks about 2 weeks ago, 12 days ago now. This is also how I have stored the leeks, and I have some cucumbers here. These are the leek greens that I'm going to use for my veggie stock, and also these are some of the jalapenos that I harvested like 12 days ago. These ones I harvested fresh like 2 or 3 days ago. I just wanted to show you that they also turn red in the garden. And there are also other ways that I have I preserve my produce. For instance, I pickled some beets, and this is what some of the beets that I had pickled over a month ago. The beets that we harvested in December as well. I still have a little bit that is left. This is some, and also I have a small amount that is left in the fridge. This is how I also stored some of my jalapenos. I fermented them This is fermented jalapeno, and this is sauerkraut. This is sauerkraut, red cabbage sauerkraut, and this is fermented beets. I've got a jar of fermented beets. Also, I wanted to show you this, my Harvard squash, the first one that I have just harvested from my garden. It's so big. It's so big. And I also have another one in the garden. Also, this is butternut squash that my husband grew, and look at how big it is. You wouldn't even tell that it's a butternut. I also wanted to show you this, the reality of also food storage. These are the only 2 carrots that were spoiled that I got from the bags that the plastic bags, and still they are still very fresh here. They are only soft here at the front. I'm just going to cut off the soft part, peel the carrots and eat them or use them. So these are the only 2 that I have just found that have spoiled. Otherwise, everything else is fresh and still usable. I'm just going to process some of these. Some of these I'm going to shred and keep in freezer bags. Some of this I'm just going to leave in the bags because I also love having like fresh carrots on hand to munch on and also to use for baking and for other things. And all of these I'm just going to peel, wash, blanch, and freeze them. Dice them maybe, or slice them and freeze them. And yeah, this is how everything is looking. So it has been 2 months from the time that I started harvesting, and I still have the produce from my harvest. Look at the cabbages, for instance. It's almost 2 months with these cabbages in the fridge. So this is proof that as much as we can like ferment, we can pickle, we can can some of our goods, we can also store them fresh for a bit of time to enjoy fresh and to use also in other dishes, making salads and other things that we need to make with fresh vegetables. And now we're going to the freezer, and this is what we have in the freezer. My tomatoes, because you can't keep tomatoes long term on the counter, so I have decided to chop them up, put them in freezer bags and freeze them. As you can see, I've got quite a lot that is going to sustain me through the winter season. I also decided to like freeze some of them whole like this, and I also still have some frozen beets that I can use. I can just defrost, shred, and use them in salad to make salad, or just dice them and make a salad with them. This is the last of the beets that we have, and this is my tomato. So yeah, this is just about what I have that is from my garden. The tomatoes, I'm still using a lot of it fresh because I'm still getting a lot of tomato. Oops, let me close the fridge. So with the tomatoes, I'm still using a lot of it fresh, picking it up from the garden and then just storing it on the countertop to fully ripen, and then I use it for different recipes fresh. But I decided to also like keep a stash in the fridge, in the freezer, frozen, to sustain me through the winter season. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you guys and just show you that you are able, or you can store your fresh produce in its original state, besides canning, fermenting, pickling, and drying. And of course, although it won't store as long as the other produce that has been fermented or pickled or dried or canned, but look at my produce. It's some of it has stored for 2 months full, and a little bit longer than 2 months. Some of it has stored for almost 2 months in its original state. So yeah, this does show you that you are able to keep your produce, and if you find that you have harvested a lot of produce, you can obviously choose to process it and preserve it in the other different methods, and also keep a few fresh to sustain you, or to be able to use when your recipe is called for fresh produce, and also leave some in the garden that you can always harvest from time to time. But of course, sometimes you can't leave some of them in the garden. You have to harvest all of them at once. For instance, with me and my cabbages, because of plenty of rain that we had, they just cracked on the top, and I could only leave about a few in the ground. But I do not regret harvesting them because here they are. I still have them. So guys, if this video was helpful for you, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, if you have not yet subscribed, please don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you become part of our family. Bye bye for now. I'll see you again on the next one.